You had looked at both the Indiana Derby and the Haskell. Just talk about the factors that came into running this Saturday at Indiana.
Yeah, obviously you got a race, pretty close to home for us, 2 hours away at Indiana Downs. Nice purse, 500,000. We think that's probably the least stressful ship and situation for him. Our goal all along has been trying to keep this horse for as fresh for a long 3-year-old campaign as we can, and we think that'll help us. It's very alluring to go to the Haskell $1 million grade 1. Obviously that's very tempting, but at the end of the day, the shipping arrangements weren't great. We were going to go up there and face a really good group, King for a Day and Maximum Security in their own backyard, and so we decided that the time's just not right to take that shot.
Was the fact that this is a mile and 16th, isn't the Indiana Derby, versus the mile and 8th at the Haskell? Is that
really wasn't a factor for us? That was no factor at all in the decision. Obviously, everybody questions his distance limitations or not, and so far in his races, he really hadn't shown that the last 2 races. Obviously, one was a 1-turn mile. Looked like he could have gone around there again that day. Last time at a mile 16, strong gallop out there too. So until they do it, there's always going to be questions, but that was not a factor.
You think the way this horse has matured, that he didn't really have a fair representation at the mile and 8th, like in the Louisiana Derby, that he's a different horse than he was when he was trying?
No doubt about it. I mean, we got off course this winter. It's well documented. He got sick for the first prep there, and then had a little issue getting cast in the stall before the next one. So we just weren't quite right this winter. I thought he ran a credible race in the Louisiana Derby, but that was really almost like a prep race. He was just coming around at that point in time, and it was a credible race, a wide trip, and then we saw what happened after that. He came in the Pat Day Mile, and he's kind of really moved forward since then.
You know how it is on the rail with your colleagues, and some of them will say, that's a horse that should have been in the Derby. It would have been hard to, to run him in the Derby off if he'd have even gotten in off the...
Yeah, he didn't have the points for it, so it was a no-brainer. He couldn't get in, but obviously he was our Derby horse this winter. When we ran him in the Breeders' Cup here, he ran a credible 4th. We knew he liked this track. We freshened him after that. We had a plan in place to get him to the Kentucky Derby. He was our Derby horse, and then things just went wrong for us. Nothing bad, just little minor setbacks that kept us from getting right. That allowed us to get to the Derby. Fortunate for us, along came another horse named By My Standards and won the Louisiana Derby for us.
He was devastating at the 1-turn mile in the Pat Day Mile, and then he was devastated in the 2-turn Matt Winn. Do you have any sense what might be his forte, or has he just really become a very good horse?
He's just become a very good horse, and I think the key for me was the last race. It was a moderate to slow pace, I thought, and he rated very kindly, laid right off the leaders, and I thought that's what he needed to do to move forward to go longer distances. We know he's fast at a 1-turn mile if you want to let him bounce away from there and let him run. But to get him to rate off a 24 quarter mile and a 47 and change, that's what impressed me. When he's gotten smart enough and learned and got the experience to do that, that opens a lot of new doors, new races, to possibilities to think about going forward, a mile and an 8th or whatever. If he makes another move forward, maybe you start thinking Travers. If he looks like he's a really solid horse, maybe you think West Virginia Derby and then Pennsylvania Derby. So like I said, there's a lot of money left on the table out there, and we'll just try to put him in the best spots we can to keep him winning.